Hello, good morning. So last time we saw the working of enhancement type N channel MOSFET. So here in enhancement type the channel width goes on increasing as we increase the gate voltage. So that's why it is named is given enhancement. It enhances means increases the channel width and also increases the current through the this channel. So that's why it is known as enhancement type MOSFET. So this is normally off type. We know that it is a normally off type. That means initially there is no layer present. Inversion layer is not present initially. So there is no current flowing between drain and source. So that's why it is normally off type enhancement type MOSFET. Now we are going to see here. Today we are going to see the working of depletion type MOSFET. Okay, so working of depletion type MOSFET. As I said, construction is like this. So we are going to observe the N channel. Okay, so for N channel we require a P type substrate. Okay, P type substrate. So this is very lightly doped P type semiconductor. So it acts like a base over which we are going to construct the FET. So two heavily doped N regions are formed. So this is heavily doped N regions and leads are connected at both the regions. So the name is given drain and source. Okay, so in this depletion type MOSFET the channel is present. Okay, so N type channel is present between drain and source. So there is a N type semiconductor which is formed between drain and the source terminal. So there is a N channel already present in this depletion type MOSFET. In enhancement type MOSFET we know that there is no channel. Okay, so there is no channel. So here in depletion type MOSFET already channel is present and oxide layer is deposited over the outer edge of this channel. So it acts like a dielectric material and again metal layer is deposited over. Okay, so last time we explained that. So this is a capacitor. So this is action like a capacitor. Okay, so it has a conducting plate on this side, metal plate is acts like conducting plate, oxide layer it acts like a dielectric. So this is like a capacitive action as I explained last time. So it forms also capacitor. So this is N type semiconductor acts like one plate of capacitor. So this layer is oxide layer and this metal layer is deposited over this oxide layer and it is acts like another plate of capacitor. So one lead is connected to this metal so that it is acts like a gate terminal. Okay, so this is a gate terminal. So we connect a drain to the positive terminal of this voltage source for N channel. Okay, and source is connected to negative terminal of the voltage source and this is the shield. Okay, so I forgot one thing. So this P type substrate acts like a shield and it is connected to the source internally for isolation purpose. Okay, so for N type N channel drain is connected to higher potential, source is connected to lower potential. So we name this is VDD source. For P type P channel, so for P channel drain is connected to negative, source is connected to positive. Okay, it get reversed for P channel. So here we are going to apply here negative potential to the gate. Okay, so why negative I will explain. So here in enhancement type MOSFET we apply a positive potential to the gate. So here in depletion type and J MOSFET junction field effect transistor JFET, and in this we have to apply gate to the negative terminal in JFET and in this type. Okay, so we connect negative terminal to the gate, that is VGG. Okay, so this is initially or normally on type. Okay, it is normally on type. Why normally on type? Because the channel is present between drain and source and current flows through it. Okay, electron flows through the channel, already road is present, so that's why traffic is moving through this road. Okay, so the electron flows through this up to the positive terminal of this VDD. So here if we change the gate to source voltage, initially when gate to source voltage is 0, okay, initially when gate to source voltage is 0, there is no ions generated near the oxide layer in the channel and there is no charge collected over this plate. Okay, it acts like a capacitor. So the channel width is maximum initially and the maximum current flows through this channel, that is ID is maximum. Okay, so if we vary this VDD from 0 to maximum, okay, we increase the current increases through this channel. So just we are going to observe the how this depletion type goes on or it works. Okay, so as there is a 0, okay, when VGS or get to source voltage, when VGS or get voltage equal to 0 volt, then channel width is maximum. Okay, channel width is maximum. Okay, so maximum drain current ID flows through it. So maximum ID current flows through the MOSFET and it is in on state. Okay, so MOSFET, so this MOSFET is in on state. Okay, so initially when gate to source voltage or VG equal to 0 volt, channel width is maximum and maximum current flows. The road width is high, so therefore maximum traffic flows through this channel. Okay, if we increase, what happens if we increase the gate to source voltage? Okay, say I made it -1 volt as an example. If we increase it, okay, so as we increase the gate to source voltage, it forms like a capacitor. Negative charge is collected on this plate, gate plate, and according to the capacitor action, we know that if we apply a negative potential to one of the gate of capacitor like this, the positive potential gets collected on the another plate. So like that, the atoms near this oxide layer get ionized and that acquires a positive charge. Okay, so the inversion layer is produced between drain and source. So what happens because of this? As we increase the gate to source voltage, negative charge is collected on the gate and positive charge is collected near the oxide layer in the channel, so which reduces the channel width. Okay, which reduces the channel, because we know that electrons are only moving, positive charge is not moving. Okay, so that's why the channel width decreases. Okay, as we increase the gate to source voltage, okay, as we increase the gate to source voltage, so the inversion layer of positive charge, okay, inversion layer of positive charge is, okay, is produced in the channel, is produced in the channel. Okay, so because of this inversion layer which decreases the channel width, okay, which decrease as the channel width decreases, the drain current ID decreases. Okay, so as we increase the gate to source voltage, the channel width decreases. So again, if we increase, VGS increases again. Okay, say minus 2 volt. Then as we increase the gate to source voltage, the positive ions layer increases. So inversion layer increases. So it again decreases the channel width. Okay, so again, so inversion layer increases. So inversion layer increases, again channel width decreases, and again ID decreases. Okay, so this goes on continue as we increase the gate to source voltage some extent. At a particular gate to source voltage, the channel width totally becomes 0, the channel blocks and drain current ID becomes 0. Okay, so in fourth, when channel width becomes 0, okay, then ID becomes equal to 0 ampere. This VGS is known as pinch off voltage. Okay, so this VGS is known as pinch off voltage. Okay, this VGS is known as pinch off voltage, and it turns off. Okay, it turns off. So this is the work. So we are going to see only the working of this depletion type N channel MOSFET. Okay, so this is, though initially channel is present, so when gate to source voltage is 0, the maximum drain current ID flows through it and it will turn on. As we increase the gate to source voltage, inversion, because of capacitive action, inversion layer is created between drain and source near the oxide layer, which will decreases the channel width. Okay, so like that, as we again increase, the channel width decreases and ID current decreases. Okay, when we increase at the extent when channel width becomes 0, at the time drain current ID becomes 0, and this VGS is known as pinch off voltage, which will turn off this transistor. So this is a simple working of depletion layer. So by controlling this gate to source voltage, we can control the drain current ID. So only voltage will control. So there is no current from gate to source because this is the capacitor. In capacitor, the current DC current is 0. So that's why. So there is a 0 current through this gate. So we can say that this is the voltage controlled device. So all JFET and MOSFET is the voltage controlled device. So in JFET there is a little reverse leakage current, but that is negligible, but it is also voltage controlled device. So all these are the voltage controlled. Transistor NPN and PNP type are the current control device because there is a base current IV, okay, and which will control the collector current IC. So here it is a voltage controlled device. So therefore this is known as voltage controlled device. Okay, so this is all about the depletion type MOSFET. Okay. Okay, now we are going to see the another transistor which is also important transistor, that is UJT, unijunction transistor. Okay, so all these transistors are very important. So we are going to see the UJT. So UJT is named unijunction transistor. So it has only one junction. Okay, so it is known as uni junction transistor. So today we are going to see only the construction and the equivalent diagram of this UJT. Okay, so unijunction transistor, according to them there is only one junction. So the construction is very simple. So there is a n-type rod, okay, of semiconductor, n-type semiconductor bar, or we can say that slice or vapor. Okay, so this is a n-type semiconductor bar. Okay, so the leads are connected at both the ends, the named as B2, that is base 2, and here base 1, and only one junction is formed just above the center of this rod. So suppose this is a total rod and this is center of this rod. Just above we form another layer. Okay, so it is a PN junction. So another PN junction is formed just above the center. If you observe that it is P type, this material is deposited or junction is formed near to the base 2. Okay, and another lead is connected to the P, and that is known as emitter. Okay, two base and one emitter. So in NPN there is one emitter, another collector, and third one is base. So here two base and one emitter. So name this is B1 and B2. So single junction is formed. So if you observe that, so this is nothing but a P junction. So there is a P type material, N type material, and we form a junction. So there is only a PN junction. So it is just like a diode, but difference is this N type region is elongated, it converted into bar shape. Okay, so this is the N bar, and these, and expect the single cathode, there are two cathodes, like, because N acts like a cathode in a PN junction. So here it's same, but name terminologies are just changed. So it is B2, B1, and this is a emitter. So the symbol of this unijunction transistor is just like similar to the JFET. Okay, same. So this is P2, B1. Okay, but there is little difference. The emitter we connect, we shown like this, straight and bending. So this is the emitter, and you have to show arrow, that is inward arrow, on the emitter layer, because it emits. That's why we shown arrow on this terminal. So this is a unijunction transistor, UJT. There is only one junction, that's why named as the unijunction. It's just like a PN junction diode, but N region is elongated and converted into the bar. Okay, and these two terminals are connected, so B2 and B1. So this is a UJT. So as this is a PN junction in equivalent circuit, now we are going to see the equivalent circuit. Equivalent circuit. In equivalent circuit, as I said, this is the PN junction, so that's why we show here one PN junction diode symbol, and it is the emitter terminal. Okay, P, it is emitter. So this is the point. Okay, so this is the point where the junction is formed. Okay, so from this point to B2, so it has some resistance. Between this point to B2, it has some resistance. So that's why we shown resistor and named as RB2. So this is the resistance between the point where the emitter junction is lie and the base 2. Okay, so this RB2 is the resistance of silicon bar between B2 and the point which the emitter junction lies. Okay, so RB2 is nothing but the resistance between these 2 points. Okay, so where the emitter junction is lies and the B2 terminal. Okay, so also similarly we show, so as we compare this, it has a more resistance than the B2. So we can also show one resistance between B1 and the point where the emitter junction is formed or lies. So we name this as RB1. So this RB1 is indicated by a variable resistor symbol. Okay, so why variable resistor symbol we are going to see in the next lecture. Okay, so we are going to discuss about the working of the UJT in that case. Okay, so this is the B2 is connected to ground. Okay, negative terminal. So here is the point. Okay, so here is the point where the emitter junction is lie. So if you observe this, RB2 and RB1 are connected in series, and if we observe the voltage between these 2 points, we get the voltage across the RB1. Okay, voltage across the RB1. So these 2 resistors are series. We know that potential divider bias. Okay, so like that these 2 resistors are connected in series. Okay, so this is equivalent circuit. So as these 2 resistors are connected in series and voltage is applied between base 2 to base 1, we given a name, that is VBB. Voltage is applied between base 2 to base 1. So VBB is applied. So this is at positive potential and this is at negative potential. So if you apply the VBB voltage, then the voltage across RB1 is VRB1. So voltage is developed across this RB1, that is VRB1. So by using potential divider formula, we can find the VRB1. So potential divider formula, we know that if you want to find the voltage across RB1, then formula becomes RB1 divided by RB1 plus RB2 into applied voltage V. So we can find the voltage VRB1, that is equal to RB1 divided by RB1 plus RB2 into VBB. Okay, into VBB voltage. So RB1 divided by RB1 plus RB2 into VBB. So this is the voltage by using potential divider formula. Okay, so this is the VRB1. Okay, so we named this ratio as eta. Okay, so we name this ratio RB1 upon RB1 plus RB2 by Greek letter eta. So eta into VBB. So VRB1 equal to eta into VBB. So this is nothing but into VBB. Okay, so name this as eta factor. So if we see the ratio VRB1 divided by VBB, that is also equal to eta. So this is known as intrinsic standoff ratio. Intrinsic standoff ratio. Okay, now if you observe the voltage VE and if you see the loop like this, So there is the voltage drop across the forward bias PN junction. This is nothing but say VD. Okay, this is the voltage drop across this diode VD, and this is the voltage across the RB1 is VRB1. So we can write the equation. So this V equal to voltage across this plus voltage across this. Okay, using this loop. So we can write here VE equal to VD plus, okay, so VRB1. So that is VD plus eta into VBB. So this VD, when diode is fully on, the voltage drop across this forward bias diode is 0.7 volts. So we can write VE equal to 0.7 volt plus eta into VBB. So this is the most important equation. Okay, so this one also. Okay, so this is about the construction of unijunction transistor and its equivalent circuit and the equations. Okay, so we are going to stop here now. In the next lecture we are going to see the working of this UJT. Okay.